let's look at now how we do it from Excel and fill out something in Excel. So we'll delete our text that we have here. So this will be something akin to a blank template. It's still Word file 1 that we were using in the previous video. And so we've got most of our text here from the previous video. We'll just have our save as command in here. So remember what this will do, it'll open the file, and in this case it'll just save the file under a different name, Word file 2, and close it again. And so we'll see we've got Word file 2 here, and Word file 2 will retain all those bookmark names as well. Now we want to update those bookmarks in there. So we say object document bookmarks, and then we give it the name, whatever name that we want in there. And if we run that, it'll fill out that name for us, and we can open up Word file 2 and it'll be listed in there, Robert as the name. Well, we could get a bit fancier. Say we had a whole lot of things to fill in, and so we could say name here, we could say date of birth here, we could say postcode, and we could say suburb, and we'll put in a few different values. Put in some date of births. These obviously have no reference to me whatsoever. Suburb, we'll make up some suburbs. Doncaster, Preston, Eltham and Greensborough, for example. Put in some postcodes. These don't actually correspond to those suburbs at all, just for the sample. And so now we've got some data that we can use to actually fill out those Word documents. And we'll create another thing here, and we'll call it file name. And so we'll say this one, we'll call it file 1. This one we'll call it file 1, and we'll just fill down and create file 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now let's see how that we can actually open that file, put all those changes in those files, and create 4 files with each of that information. This is a whole lot easier if we can just fill out everything in here and press go, and it fills out a whole bunch of files for us. I once did this for our Design for Learning program and saved many days' work by just automating this process into a very, very complex document that had a lot more than just 4 fields in it. Okay, so we'll use I. Here we'll say I equals 2 because the second row is the one that we'll be dealing with first. We'll say while I is less than 5, I equals I plus 1, and we'll put our while end there. And so first we'll work out what our file name is going to be. So rather than word file 2, what we want to say is it's equal to cells, row is I, column is 1. And that will get us this cell for the first time, that cell, and then that cell. We can then say for each of these, this one's equal to cells I2, because that's where the names are, and we'll do one of those for each particular field. So 3, 4, 5, and these were date of birth, suburb, and postcode. Okay, we'll hit go and see what we get. So that was our one from before. Our first one's been filled out correctly there. Our second one, we have a bit of a problem there. And the problem's occurred because what we've done is we've gone to the bookmark and inserted it again behind that previous one. So that's a bit of a problem for us, and we'll have the same for the third one as well. So we've got 2 values there. We stopped our count one early, so we should have continued to I is less than 6, because cell 5 is where our fourth one is. But what we'll do in that case is actually take this value here and set that there each time. And now we'll open the same file and close the same file and actually edit that into the same file. Now, we don't really care whether we can actually see the documents or not. It's not really important to us because we're not going to be editing them in a visible way. They're just going to be written into the files. And so if we hit go now, it'll open each of those files, update the information in each of those files, and save those files as we wish. File 1 contains what we'd expect. File 2 has the second person's details in there. File 3 has the third person's details in there. And file 4 has the fourth person's details in there. And you'll notice the word didn't pop out while we're doing that because we set these fields of visible and activate. We commented them out so you can't see them. So there we go. And at the end we've just closed Word once again. We've stepped through. That's the power of using macros and controlling something like a Word document and filling it out using an Excel document.